Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome, welcome, welcome! It's Monday, March 18th, 2024, here with DJ Wonder Chrissy and Migrant and the Dancing Donald. Come along as we check out what's happening with the migrants, the newcomers, the border buddies. Let's dance a little. Get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble!
There you go, folks. DJ Wonder Chrissy, and let's get going with the show. We got a good show today. Yesterday was eviction day. The confusion has begun in Chicago, although there's a lot of different reports. I heard 30 were supposed to be evicted, but only maybe 3. So I don't know how they're coming up with these numbers, but not many were evicted, considering they started this whole 60-day thing back in November, and they extended it a couple of times, so there should be plenty of people beyond their 60-day limit, but there's so many exceptions. We'll play a video, you hear about all the exceptions, like if you got like a shoelace that's not tied right, you get an exemption. I mean, it's just crazy, all the exceptions. And if you got a kid in Chicago public schools, you get to wait until the school year is done, which is like the end of May or something like that. So let me get our window up and running here. Let me get the videos ready for you. There's one there. Let's see if we can get that one up. It's ready to go, but it just doesn't want to show up for me. Let's try it again. There we go. Let's give it a try.
Evictions underway for nearly...
There we go. So let's play this one. This gives a good overview of all the exceptions and throw some numbers at you. Let's give it a roll.
36 migrants at 3 different city-run shelters. Those being evicted have hit the 60-day shelter limit. Although some received extensions, CBS 2's Darius Johnson joins us from the landing zone, where some of those evicted will come right back.
The city informed nearly 36 migrants on
Good old landing zone. Don't see much of that these days.
Landing zone to start the process for housing once again. The road to stability can be tough, especially for the thousands of migrants who hope to call Chicago home.
Sunday is our first day. I am sure that within, a couple weeks of this iteration, it'll, evolve and we'll tweak it to be more effective and efficient.
They're going to get good at this.
Migrants who've occupied a bed at 3 city-run shelters since November were evicted. Brandy Kanazi with the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services says it's a new approach.
Right now, this is the first wave, and so we're going to take it one day at a time to, this is always continuous improvement in our processes. But right now, the process is that individuals will go back to the landing zone and they will reapply for shelter through that process.
Especially if they haven't found permanent housing through a relative or rental assistance in 60 days, they're back to the landing zone where they began.
We'll be working with them to make sure that they can connect with family and friends. Again, that's part of what the case management is preparing them.
Try to get them to leave Chicago. Give them a free ticket out of town.
Throughout our shelter system.
However, families with children enrolled in Chicago public schools are safe to stay until the end of the school.
Oh, yeah.
As the city pushes migrants to find stability, more than 2,000 migrants are set to be evicted by April 30th. The next round of evictions are set to happen later this month, and it's expected to impact more than 200 migrants. Reporting from the landing zone, I'm Darius Johnson, CBS 2 News.
Darius.
So there you have that. I got one more. Let's see if we can get another one here. Let's try this one where it talks about confusion.
Introducing the hide and seek.
We're also getting a lot of reports out of Chicago from lots of sources, not just. I was kind of shocked, but I guess I don't ride the CTA every day. There was a protest press conference yesterday in Gage Park. There's a gentleman by the name of Ford Boss Me that videotaped that, and he's been down to Gage Park a couple of times, and I have a friend that rides the Blue Line. That's the one that goes from downtown to the airport on a daily basis, and I'm hearing that the migrants are smoking weed all the time. She says when they're on the train or the buses, they just reek of it. And so did Ford Boss Me. He said he could tell people were just sitting around this park smoking weed. They're selling food that they've made or bought somewhere else, and are sitting outside the shelter and selling it without a permit. So there's a lot of weird stuff and illegal things going on with the migrants, and this one person I says they're like smoking on the train. They're not supposed to smoke on the train. And I got a video for you too of what else happens on those trains these days, which make your stomach turn. Well, we'll give you a video on that. I did a short over the weekend about the CTA train, so we're going to show you that, but. Let's check in with Fox 32 and Tia Ewing and Dane and see what they have to say about the evictions.
Shelter evictions have started for some migrants in Chicago, but there's been some confusion over who has to go.
One alderman says the 60-day policy needs to be scrapped. Another bus arriving at the
Yeah, got another bus. We're getting like one bus a day, it seems like.
Chicago landing zone as more asylum seekers come in.
And instead of going to the suburbs and dropping them off at the metro station, they are following the rules, and they're scheduling it, and they're dropping them off at the landing zone. So it seems to be what Brandon had wanted, I guess. And I'm sure they charge him a huge fee for doing that. But anyway.
Several are being kicked out. Chicago is enforcing the limited stay shelter policy for the first time. Confusion, though, on who's staying and who is going. The city said 34 migrants were going to be out on their own, but now we are learning only 3 were booted. But still, there are growing concerns.
Only 3!
To go.
You've got people who can't legally work, who can't get any rental assistance.
This is the bad news here. This is the reality. This is the bad news, and I guess this is probably why it's good that only 3 got booted, but they're not heading anywhere different soon. So you're going to see your money disappear at an alarming rate as you go forward. There is no solution here, folks. Is no solution.
And who are going to be kicked out of the only roof they've had over their head when they came to the States. What's the expectation, right? They have significant language barrier. These are folks who most likely could get exploited. There could be trafficking concerns.
Alderman Andre Vasquez of the 40th Ward is also chairman of the Committee on Immigrant and Refugee Rights. He sent Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson this letter, calling on the mayor to end the 60-day policy, saying 80% of new arrivals in shelter.
It looks like it was written in English. That's a good thing. I'm sure that, but the migrants can't read this.
Cannot access work authorization, and 50% in shelters cannot access rental assistance.
I think they're going to get rental assistance some way or another. If it's not from the state, they'll get it from an NGO, which was given it by a state. There's the tricky way that they solve their problems.
What we're doing is exacerbating a homelessness issue and creating more challenges that are then going to cost the taxpayer even more.
The letter also mentions President Joe Biden calling for an executive order so more work permits can be issued for new arrivals and the undocumented population, and for the state of Illinois to provide rental.
It's almost lawn mowing season. I think I haven't seen any lately, but the landscaping trucks start rolling April 1st. It's kind of nasty this week. It's a high of 27 right now. It's cloudy and overcast. It's going to be a high of 40 all week. And it's actually got a little bit of snow flurries going on this morning.
Rental assistance again.
After November 16th, anyone who shows up isn't eligible for any level of rental assistance, and only about 10% of the population can apply for work authorization. So you're looking at, even according to the city's numbers now, about 2,000 people by the end of April who are going to be asked to leave the shelter.
31 migrants slated to get the boot didn't because 27 are awaiting benefits and the remaining 4 were because of disability or pregnancy.
One day,
There you go. A lot of people that missed the cut. And let me see if I can find you some of those CTA videos that we got here on our channel. Let's see here. We're going to find those for you. Here we go. Let's go to the studio. Go to Land Cruiser Midwest. Go to the Shorts channel. And you can find what's going on at the CTA. Here we go. Here's one that's funny.
Everybody's got a CTA story. That's a new one.
CTA riders' actions are drawing a lot of attention on social media. Photos from a now viral video show a man who was apparently hungry eating shrimp off of a bare seat. He then gets off the train, leaves some food behind though on the seat. We reached out to the CTA for their take, and their response was kind of perfect. The agency said, in part, not only is this behavior fishy and extremely shellfish, it's strictly unacceptable as it violates CTA's rules of conduct, which prohibit littering and eating on trains.
That's shellfish, buddy. Come on, man. Life on the Chicago CTA. People are eating shrimp. Look at on the seat. Disgusting. Disgusting. Let's look at another one here. Here's another one. If you like the Chicago CTA, you might see a little dancing. We started the video today with dancing. Let's go back to dancing. Gonna find this on the CTA easily. Look at this guy go. He's upside down. Look at him twirl on that. So there you go, a little dancing on the CTA, and we'll give you one more video. We'll give one to our Charlie the computer cat.
playing with the computer.
Yeah, we miss Charles.
Charles.
He was a great podcaster, and he loved sitting on the computer, folks. Check it out. He was a great companion in the early days of this channel.
When do I get the computer again?
He'd get up every morning and wait. He'd sit right next to me
Playing with the computer again.
as we did our podcast and help me.
You've taken over the computer, buddy.
What a great companion. The other cats we have now, they're not into the computer. They do not like the computer. Charlie loved the computer. He loved the computer. Look at him. And we'll give you one where he's podcasting. Here you go. Here's his podcasting. Showing us how he can podcast.
Show him how it's done, Charles. Can you podcast? Give a big howl. Yeah, show him how it's done. Right in there, the microphone, right here. Just right here. Speak right into there. Just say something. Say something. Can you say something into the microphone?
Must have been a little camera shy that morning. He liked the disco ball.
Disco cat.
He was a disco cat.
Disco cat.
So there you go. There's Charlie, the computer and podcasting cat. I don't know if we'll ever have a companion on this channel like that again. He loved to podcast. He got up every morning and wanted to podcast. There you go. So there you have it. There's the news from Chicago. Not much going on, folks. They're just kicking the can down the road and spending more of your tax dollars. We'll see what happens as we get towards summer. There seems to be some pressure from not a lot. I mean, like I said, there was that press conference yesterday in Gage Park. There was maybe 25, 30 people that showed up. I really thought it was going to be a bigger event. You can check that out on Ford Boss Me's channel. Not a lot of people showed up. I was surprised because they lost their park, they lost their recreational center to the Migrants. At one point, I heard they had 400 in their rec center. They didn't want to lose it, and now they want it back, and they still can't get it back. So, not much happening. Haven't heard much on the measles. I think we got like maybe 10, 15, which probably means they got 30 people with the measles. They don't like the food that they're getting. You'll see pictures when they show the shelters that there's people selling Venezuelan soup outside the shelters, and it's starting to become an issue with some of the citizens because these people are selling stuff on the streets that they made in their apartment, and they don't have a permit. They haven't been checked by the sanitation department of the city of Chicago. They're just doing it of their own free will and starting to piss people off. Yeah, starting to piss people off. So there you go. It's Monday, March 18th. I'm DJ Wonder Chrissy. Check out all of our channel. Like I just showed you a bunch of shorts that we did over the weekend. We got a good variety of content. We're not just about the migrants. We're all about the Midwest. We got some foodie stuff. We got some car show stuff. We got some slot stuff with Susie Q Slot. We'll probably be adding some more to that in the near future. So check out Land Cruiser Midwest. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. I'm going to end it here today. Have a good week. It's snowing here. My God, it's got flurries. I'm not looking forward to it. 27 degrees and snowy here in Chicago. But anyway, it is what it is. It's March 18th. DJ Wonder Chrissy over and out. See ya.